Yeah, and again, I guess are we picking on annuity salespeople today? Because those tend to be the ones. Hello, this is Mark Silverman, managing member and founder of Silverman & Associates, and I'm also a certified financial planner professional. I want to welcome you to the Saving with Silverman podcast. I'm glad you're here. Each week, we'll discuss different financial planning topics because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life.
Let's talk about questionable advisors. From time to time on this show, we talk about how there are some people out there who claim they're advisors, but they're not really advisors. They're just brokers. They're trying to sell you something. Let's talk about some of the red flags that people can look out for when they're shopping for a financial advisor. For example, watch out for the guy with a hammer. Who would that be?
I guess if maybe a one-trick pony, they only have one tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to point fingers, but I would probably say, and I'm on the radio, it's going to upset some people, but the annuity salesperson, people, I should say. You know, there's lots of them out there. You probably get those same invitations in the mail that I get as far as the free dinner to sell you something, which is going to be an annuity. And I'm not saying all annuities are bad. I'm insurance licensed. I think there's a time and place for them, but not nearly as much as everybody's recommending or these people are recommending. So I guess to go with your quote, if you only have a hammer, then everybody's solution or everybody has a nail that hammer needs to work on. So annuity can be part of it. I can tell you in my practice, a lot of people don't have annuities. There's ways of going around those. There's some drawbacks with those, especially in this interest rate environment, in my opinion. But if somebody's just there trying to sell you something, they're not really advising you. They're just a salesperson in disguise.
Yeah, and the thing that stands out to me is if this person, says he has a perfect solution to you, and you just met him or her and just had a conversation for 5 or 10 minutes, then they can't possibly have a good solution for you because they don't know everything in the big picture as far as you're concerned.
Right. And I hate to generalize, but I can tell you because I meet with a lot of these people that talk to these other folks, and I'll say the names, but some of them are out there there's actually one in particular that I won't say the name, but it rhymes with Cajun. And they call themselves fiduciaries, and in all honesty, all they're doing is selling annuities. So with that being said, just be careful of the advice that you seek. If it doesn't make sense to you and your gut's telling you something, go with your gut, even if you don't have a lot of investment experience.
Yeah. There are a lot of questionable folks out there who claim to be advisors, and another one you might refer to as the oxygen hog. What in the world does that mean, Mark Silverman?
Somebody that's just likes to hear themselves speak the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what I've learned in this business is in order to do a great job for our clients is to really listen. Listening is an important skill. So if you're doing most of the talking as the advisor, you're really not learning a lot about the clients if you're just talking about yourselves.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's involved, but really understanding the clients and where they're coming from, what their values and goals are is so important to understand so we can align their money with their goals and their life, quite honestly.
That is a point well taken, and I know that some of your clients have said after having a conversation with you, Mark Silverman doesn't talk a whole lot. He doesn't monopolize the conversation, but he listens a lot in an effort to find out more about me and my lifestyle and what I want my retirement to look like. So,
right. I mean, you can't learn from people if you're doing all the talking.
Yeah,
right?
True. How about, let me see if I can come up with a clever name for this guy. Let's call him the car trunk operator. Do you have any idea? You have any idea what that person would be like?
Yeah. If they're willing to come to your home, there's a reason for that. There's a couple reasons for that. One is they're probably working from home, and a lot of people work from home, but they don't have an office, for one, and they're typically selling annuities, FYI, or insurance. And two, they're going to try to make a sale the first time. So they're coming to your house, and they're trying to close you, if you will, in parentheses, close the sale because, you can't say, well, let me go I don't have my copy of my statement. I can't go there. You have everything. They're at your house, which is strange to me. It's funny because I just, a couple weeks ago, Christine, who works with me, somebody who called in from the radio, was wondering if I make house calls. We do not make house calls. No. We do phone calls and people come to the office. That's how it works. And we do some Zoom calls too. But yeah, that's how it works. We don't we're not coming to your house.
Mark Silverman does not operate out of the trunk of his car. I can promise you that. No. His office is in Tucson, by the way, and wherever you are in southern Arizona, we thank you for being with us today. Mark, of course, is the founder of Silverman and Associates, the managing member, and when you call this number, you're going to have a conversation with him, no one else. First, you can call to arrange it. You'll get a call back, and then at whatever time you decide to do this, you will have a conversation directly with Mark Silverman for about 20 minutes. 520-333-7601. That is 520-333-7601. Call or text. I got another description of a person out there who may be an annuity salesman or insurance person or whatever. You might call him the expensive but empty suit. You know anybody like that?
I do, and it's typically it's kind of like the stockbroker mentality. I'm not a stockbroker, by the way. I used to work on the brokerage side when I first started out of college. That industry has totally changed. There are some people out there that still do that. But, dressing up with the fancy suits and all that kind of thing, there's a place for that. I mean, if any of you know me and been to my office or even go to my website, you'll see this is Tucson. I'm a golf shirt kind of guy.
It's hot.
It's hot. If you're looking for someone to, a big, fancy office, we have a nice office. I think it's great and it's clean and that sort of thing. But if you're looking for somebody that's wearing a, three-piece suit, I'm not your guy. I want my clients to feel comfortable and that sort of thing, and that's the kind of clients I attract.
Oh, yeah, I believe it. Well, there's another category of person out there, financial person. I don't want to say advisor because some of these people we're talking about may not really be real advisors. The non-answerer, the person who gives you a vague answer to just about every question you ask. You know folks like that, too, in the business, right?
Yeah, and again, I guess are we picking on annuity salespeople today? Because those tend to be the ones. I mean, there are some people on the investment side that don't disclose fees. If they're selling loaded mutual funds, they don't disclose how that works, how they get paid, et cetera. I mean, one thing I can tell you is being an RIA, registered investment advisor, being a fiduciary, and also a CFP, we are fully transparent. So everything we do, we disclose, and we disclose it in writing as well. And it's important because clients should know. One thing you don't want to be surprised with is fees and that sort of thing. I want my clients to know what they're paying me. That way they can determine if they're getting value. If you don't know what you're paying, how do you determine if you're getting value? And it's not what it costs, but what it's worth. So the non-answer, a lot of those people either, one, don't know the answer, and I'm not saying I have all the answers either. If I don't know the answer, I will reach out and find the answer, whether it be from a CPA, attorney, whatever it might be. I will find that answer and pass that along to my client if I don't know the answer, because you're always learning in this industry. I've been doing this 26 years, and there's still more stuff to learn, which is a good thing. You never stop learning. The last thing I'll say about that is sometimes they don't want to answer because they know that the answer that they're going to give you is going to maybe have you change your mind as far as buying. If you ask somebody if they're selling you an annuity, how much do you make on this? There's a commission that's paid upfront to that person, that salesperson. I've had clients that asked that and they said that the advisor didn't know, or I'm using that term advisor loosely. That salesperson didn't know. They know exactly how much they're getting paid. Yeah. So with that being said, they're just being evasive. And if they're not answering your questions, that's somebody you probably don't want to be working with.
We're talking about questionable folks in the financial industry, and the last one I wanted to mention here, Mark, is one that's pretty easy to figure out. I mean, even I know what this person is. The just give us your money guy. There are folks out there like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, there's firms out there that have, a certain reputation. They, maybe you were referred to them, and they just said, we'll take good care of you, just give us your money, and we'll go from there. I would never do that. Everybody's, entitled to their way of doing business. And there's different, the thing is, if you're going to talk to 10 different advisors, you're going to hear 10 different stories. And you got to go with the one that makes sense. Or if none of those are comfortable for you, keep looking. It's a big decision. So you want to think about it and make sure if anybody's pressuring you into making a decision whether to work with them or to buy a product and you don't feel right, don't do it. But yeah, give us your money and we'll take care of it. I would never do that, so I would never recommend a client doing that. When our clients invest with us, they know exactly what we're doing, and we'll dig in the weeds as far as they want and provide all that information to them.
You've been listening to the Saving with Silverman podcast. If you have any questions at all about your financial situation, please give Mark Silverman a call. Again, his number is 520-333-7601, or go online to savingwithsilverman.com. For Mark Silverman, I'm Ron Stutz. We'll see you next time on the Saving with Silverman podcast.
The Saving with Silverman podcast is brought to you by Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, based in Tucson, Arizona. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show on your favorite app today and never miss an episode. Just search for Saving with Silverman to find us, or visit savingwithsilverman.com to listen to past episodes, to contact Mark, and to learn more about how to make smarter decisions with your money.
Did you know that Mark Silverman also has a radio show? Tune in to Saving with Silverman Saturdays and Sundays at 3 p.m. on AM 790 KNST.
All matters discussed on this show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, makes no representation as to its accuracy or completeness. This show shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or investment advisory services to residents of any state other than Arizona or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services offered through Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Arizona. Insurance products and services are offered through Silverman & Associates, an affiliated company.